Good morning, everyone. We are back with more Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live in studio, I welcome Michelle Constantino. Michelle is the Manager of Employer Relations and Contract Training for the Center for Corporate and Professional Education under the umbrella of Cape Cod Community College. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good.
So we have a number of things to talk about. First, we're going to kind of focus on employment. Obviously, that's the focus of the Center for Corporate and Professional Education. But we have a management one-day retreat coming up, and I think leadership skills, management skills, so important to be able to focus on. So tell me a little bit about this upcoming event.
Well, it's actually really interesting because we're focusing on managing across multiple generations. This is one of the first times in history that we have up to 5 generations in one workplace. And it creates a lot of challenges, but it also creates a lot of opportunities. So we're working on helping companies understand how to get the most out of their employees, help with retention and also drawing in new and younger employees, but also realizing that there's a lot to be offered by older employees as well. So how do we, in this time when there's not enough employees to fill the need, how do you tap into these other generations on either side that really make a difference, and how can that middle management person really make it a positive experience both for the company as well as for the individual employee? Sure,
because when you have boomers and millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Yers, all kind of in a group together, everyone has a different frame of reference and certainly a different work ethic and a work style. So if you're managing people across these generations, you really need to know how to interact with each one of them.
And how they think and what their skills are. And it's something that keeps coming up over and over again. And so we thought that this would be a great focus. We actually are one of the other things I love about this program is we've been partnering with Eastern Bank on a lot of small business success series. And so we worked with them to develop this so we could really make it affordable, which of course is our mission, is affordable, accessible education for the workplace. And so it's a full-day retreat for only $29.
Wow.
Right. And that's the piece too, is we're trying to help individual companies and individual people, but also to create an active, vibrant workforce on the Cape and the surrounding regions. So this is one more way to kind of globally attack that problem and build our workforce here.
Absolutely. So for $29. So how do people register, and when is this coming up?
Well, it's on, I know I've got my cheat sheets here, October 19th, so it's a full day. Everything's on our website, capecod.edu/CCPE. Or you can just, right at the top, you can look at professional workforce training.
Perfect.
So everything will be on there. That's the best way to go.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about the Workforce Training Fund Express program that can help businesses pay for employee training. Again, something that can be a challenge for smaller businesses, might want to send people to some professional development, don't really have the dollars to do that. So let's talk how that works.
Well, and that's one of the wonderful things that I find in the state is there are many policies, there's money, there's funds, there's things available to companies who are actually investing in their company by investing in their workers. One of our favorite programs that we work with is called the Workforce Training Fund Grant, and that's broken up into a couple of different programs. One is that Express Grant that you talked about. So every company that pays into unemployment, and a lot of nonprofits as well. Nonprofits, make sure that you check to see if you're eligible. If you pay into unemployment, there's a tiny little percentage that goes into a trust fund. So this is completely separate from the state budget. So that money can't be touched once it's in there. And there's about $20 million a year.
Wow.
That's given out to employers, and the money goes directly to the employer. So there's a couple of different ways. One is the Express program. That's geared for companies that are small businesses, but small is defined as 100 employees. So it's a good-sized business can use the Express grant. Companies sign up. It's a very simple process. There's no grant application, nothing like that. They just check their eligibility. They choose a pre-approved program. The college has many of them. There's other colleges that have many. They take the program, and within 30 days, they get 50% reimbursed.
Wow.
Simple, easy, really makes training much easier for those smaller companies. The other major program they have is called the General Program, the General Grant, and that actually goes up to $250,000.
Wow. So lots of funding available.
Lots of funding available. That's a bigger, it's more for companies that are looking strategically over the next 2 years, what type of training they need and what have you. There's even a needs assessment grant if you're not sure what training you need, but generally speaking, the community colleges help you do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, all going towards helping to raise the bar and making sure that we have that population of skilled workers. We hear again and again from local businesses that they just can't fill these higher level positions because they're looking for skilled workers. So let's talk a little bit about how you see the employers managing the problem and you know, what maybe can be done additionally to help increase that skilled worker level.
So there's a few things. Again, just in the last 2 years, dramatic change from you know, having a workforce that there were more people than you needed to very, very quickly having less workers and also a lot more success. So these companies are growing, they're taking on new markets, they're sometimes almost don't know what to do with their success. They're expanding very quickly, so it's really a twofold problem. There's not enough people, and they're also experiencing how wonderful all of this success. So we're finding, again, a lot of people are investing in training. You know, they're having to move people quickly maybe into a management position, and that person has the technical skills but not management skills. So we go in and do supervisor training. There's also a pipeline issue in a lot of industries and construction and technology type industries where you don't have people with the basic what we call employability skills. So we're also working on that more broad global level of looking at things like apprenticeship programs and onboarding programs and things of that nature that'll start to move people into an industry and then continue with them as the organization grows. And then we find on that very high level executive education has really exploded. Again, companies have been doing well, and then suddenly they do have this success, they are growing, and that very high level, high performing person is really reaching out for professional development for their entire leadership team. So those are some of the things that we're seeing really grow across the board.
And so we really can see the value of the money that the employer will put into professional development for their employees. I think, you know, not only is it something that's morale boosting, you know, if you're an employee and your employer, your boss says, hey, I'm going to send you to get some additional training, you feel valued, and then you end up learning skills that can keep you on your job and even performing better.
Exactly. And the nice part about what we do, so we have the open enrollment classes, a lot of people participate in throughout our region, but what I do is I work specifically with the employers. So we work together, we figure out exactly what that company needs, we custom design the program for those needs, so every minute of training is really valuable, and we actually bring it on site.
Oh wow.
So we train on site, custom designed, funding, supporting that. It's really, and that's the biggest problem is people don't realize their community colleges do that. That's our mission, is to build our community, and we can provide amazing educational experiences for so little, and people just need to learn to take advantage of the resources we have.
So if there are business owners listening right now that may say, hey, I would like to take advantage of this, how do they get in touch with you to become a part of the program?
Well, certainly email Constantino at capecod.edu. Again, look on the website, or 508-364-0923 is my phone number. Give me a call. We can talk about it, figure out what might make sense, figure out how to tap into resources financially that might make sense, what other services may be out there, like I said, apprenticeships and those type of programs, and we can help put all of that together for you.
Sure. Last thing, real quick, wanted to mention the Leadership Summit coming up on Tuesday, September 27th. Nearly 150 people are already registered. Right.
So we're collaborating with a lot of different organizations now around a lot of things, but around nonprofit management. We have a lot of nonprofits on the Cape, and we're doing a lot of work. We have the program coming up on Tuesday, again for Leading the Next Generation for nonprofit. We're working with SCORE doing a leadership where your executive director and chair come together to learn how to build a team. So, and we work with a lot of organizations. Suffolk and Bridgewater are working with us on the program on Tuesday, so that's wonderful. And I also just want to mention, while we're talking about the Workforce Training Fund grant, we're working with the Workforce Investment Board and offering an information session, and that's on 10/14.
Wonderful.
So a lot of great programs coming up this fall. We're really excited.
Great. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for stopping by.
All
It
right.
was really great to have you here on the show.
All right, thank
Thank you so much. Michelle Constantino is the Manager of Employer Relations and Contract Training with the Center for Corporate and Professional Education. You can learn more at capecod.edu/CCPE. We'll be back in just a moment with the end of the show here in Barnstable.